What's up, folks? Internet be damned, we're here. Technology tried to keep us away from you, but we made it in. Yo! What's up, everybody? This is Brian and Brennan here for the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Wow, I completely spaced there. This is too much fantasy football. Technology is a little delayed, and clearly so am I, but it's all right. We got it figured out. Brennan, how are we doing today?
You are definitely delayed. That is for sure. I'm doing wonderful. Gotta love the internet issues.
It's freaking terrible. But you know what's it's also terrible? All these bye weeks we got to deal with. We have what, 4 teams out this week?
Yeah, I think one of my redraft teams is projected like 65 points because I'm out like all of them. Yeah, fun stuff.
Well, I told you you can't have a Charger stack in all of your leagues, but no, you had to have your Charger stacks.
Yeah, dude, love Lad McConkey. Big fan.
Awesome. Let's start with this first game. Cannonballs and bird calls. It's the Buccaneers at the Falcons for Thursday night game. And when in doubt, Brennan's out on these, but we have a few players we're probably going to talk about today in this matchup. It's a 44-point over-under. Atlanta's favored by 1.5. What's jumping out to you?
Bucky Irving, and more Bucky. That's about it. No, I'm just kidding. So for Tampa Bay side, like I'm out on Rashad White. Like I think you can. I mean, if you're on a bye, like you have Jahmyr Gibbs on a bye, Tony Pollard, and you're really in a pinch, I don't necessarily hate it, but I expect Bucky Irving to get the goal line work. I expect him to get a lot more work. This is a divisional game, so it should be a lot more closer than people want it to be. Obviously, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I don't hate starting Baker this week, though. I mean, Baker's on a roll right now, so.
You can't really deny it. I mean, if you've got a better option, if you've got Jaden Daniels, sure, throw him in. But I think Baker should be in contention to be played this week, even against the Falcons. This week?
Baker or Patrick Mahomes?
I'll go Baker.
All right.
Patrick Mahomes hasn't broken QB 12 and I don't know how long. It's kind of scary at this point. Kirk Cousins, where's your confidence in his start then?
I looked at his Vegas betting lines earlier. It's like 230 yards, like 1.5 touchdowns, right at the money line. Completions at like 20. I'm not really starting him. I mean, you're starting Drake London. I'm not really big on Darnell Mooney this week. I think it's too close for me. Bijan, I mean, you have to start him for where you drafted him. But honestly, if you have on a bye, Tyler Algier is going to get some work. And I think he might be a good flex. Well, I wouldn't say flex, but I'd definitely start him as one of your RBs.
Yeah, that's the challenging thing. Bijan hamstring as of Wednesday says he's ready to go for Thursday night. I sure hope so. But if he's limited like he was this past week, went from 80 or 75% of snaps in every single game, dropped down to 64% this past week. So just a little cause for concern for you, but you're not sitting Bijan, right?
No, you're not sitting Bijan. That'd be really, really silly. My question to you is Kyle Pitts over under yards is at 36, I think I saw.
That's 3.6 points in standard scoring. You toss in a couple catches, that's 4.6 points.
Yeah. Does he get it?
No. Oh, God. This secondary. Oh, man. Secondary, you can get work done on. It's a lot harder to run the ball in the Bucs. So I'd imagine with Bijan not at 100%, we might see a little bit more passing. But Kyle Pitts is running out there casually. He looks like I would on an NFL field. Just like he doesn't belong. Just nonchalant. It's not running hard. You got to bench him. You got to bench him.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tampa Bay covers the spread and wins. I'm pretty confident. I think the Buccaneers team's really, really good. So,
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucs too. I think they win this one and knock the Falcons down to 2-3, which is not looking good for old Kirk Cousins.
No.
Oh, gross. All right, let's get to a fun game here. Let's get just two elite quarterbacks here. From bust to MVP, we've got the Jets taking on Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Sam Darnies. They are coming out strong. Yes, the head of the franchise, Sam Darnold. I just got to pump him up, He's screwing me. He's screwing me so bad.
Do what you got to do.
11 touchdowns on the season. That's wild. Only got to do it.
I know. That's crazy. That's where we're at in the NFL right now. I mean, for the Viking side, Aaron Jones is in your lineup. I mean, you are starting Sam Darnold. I don't know, honestly, Sam Darnold is in the top echelon. The dude just slinging touchdowns left and right. JJ, I mean, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison looked good last week. We got some good news. TJ Hawkinson should be ramping up practice next week. I don't know if he plays next week, but he should be ramping up for practice. So,
Yeah. I
that's
heard the
about where it
window
sits.
starts, I think, the end of this week. So hopefully,
Yeah,
less than 3 games.
yeah. So that's where we're at with him. And that's all where I'm really at with the Vikings. I don't, tight end months, not worth starting, none of the other guys. So it's just the guys we mentioned.
You're not starting Munt over Pitts.
Dude, they might get the same exact points.
Is what, zero? They're both got a goose egg?
One catch for 8 yards. Who knows, man?
On the other side of the ball, as far as Brees Hall, you're not benching him after a performance like last week.
3 good games to 1 bad game where Denver actually has a surprisingly good defense. Robert Saleh came out and said that he's the goal line back. It's just 1 bad week. Brees Hall, there was no one on the Jets were moving the ball last week. So it wasn't just him. I know Braylon Allen had some good touches, but I just think Brees Hall is pretty safe. People that are on a bye, don't mind Braylon Allen as an RB2. They do like to work in both the backs. Garrett Wilson.
Minnesota is fourth against the running back, allowing only 15 points a game. So I don't hate the Braylon Allen flex in this week, but it does scare me a little bit.
Yeah, but what are the options you're really going to have at this point? You're scraping the barrel, unfortunately. Garrett Wilson. You really have to start him with where you drafted him at this point in the bye weeks here. Are you starting Alan Lazard?
I'm not. I'm more worried about if we're contemplating Garrett Wilson, I don't think we're starting Alan Lazard, right?
Yeah. Oh man.
Brandon Ayuk or Garrett Wilson. It's.
Dude, Ayuk is all the metrics and numbers are literally saying Ayuk is fine. It's just a matter of getting him the ball. So I really don't know. So I like Ayuk though.
What if you pulled Dontavian Wicks off of the waiver wire? You're going to put him in over Garrett Wilson?
No, I'm still. I couldn't have the cojones to start Dontavian Wicks over Garrett Wilson.
Sounds about right. Tyler Conklin, I think he is worth looking at. He got 8 targets last week. If you are tired of Mark Andrews and Kyle Pitts, I think this is what you're flexing to. But I think when you do that, you're accepting not necessarily defeat, but accepting I'm willing to take 4 to 8 points, and that's all I'm going to get. Kyle Pitts can give you 0 to 30. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm still starting the duds at this point with Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews was cut in one of my 10-man leagues, and it was so weird. I have Evan Ingram and Colton Strange. So I think we should keep Colton. We should keep Strange.
Wow.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I feel you. I'm right there. If I had something better to drop him for, I would. But I'm holding true. And come on, it's week 5. They've got to blow up. That blow up game's coming.
Yeah.
Who wins this game?
It's in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, in Minnesota.
I'm gonna go with the Jets. I'm gonna go with an upset. I think everyone's starting to really believe in the Vikings, and that's when things start to turn a little bit. So I think Aaron Rodgers gets a dub in a place where he's familiar with getting a lot of dubs.
I love that Aaron Rodgers has to be looked at as going to upset Sam Darnold and the Vikings.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I've gone against the Vikings, I think 4 straight weeks, maybe 3 straight at this point, but I'm going to go with the Vikings at this point. So it's the time you finally flip that it's when they flop, but I'm taking it. Let's go Vikings.
All right.
All right, time back up on the clock. We've got the Panthers at the Bears. I don't want to dwell too much, but is this the worst trade of all time? Are the Bears just going to be showing off what the Panthers could have had?
I think from a standpoint of where it's at, because I'm trying to think of another worst trade, but the Russell Wilson trade is really bad. Russell Wilson trades really, but at the end of the day though, that didn't hurt them because they had Brock Purdy. So if they didn't get Brock Purdy, it's still a really bad trade. But in essence of losing CMC, Brian Burns, everything, all the above, I think this is what makes it terrible for them. And also because Andy Dalton just looks somewhat manageable and playable. That's the other point too, is that Bryce Young is just not good. So, yeah, I think it's one of the worst trades of all time. And speaking on the Carolina side, Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Johnson are the only real guys I want to start. Xavier Legette, maybe in a pinch flex in those deeper leagues, but that's about it on that side.
Yeah, Xavier Legette, he is making my starting roster, I think, in 2 or 3 of my leagues this week. Just
Yeah.
between injuries and bye weeks right now, I'm hurting. I've got a lot of Cooper
hmm
Kupp, a lot of Debo, a lot of AJ Brown. So I'm scraping there. I think you could do a lot worse than Legette too. He's seeing
Yeah.
a good amount of targets. We're seeing that Dalton can support multiple targets, and he's a rookie. He's only going to get better as it goes on.
Yeah.
Usually.
Rookies usually take a little bit of time. It's like they don't usually come out and blossom right away like Malik Neighbors has, Marvin Harrison Jr. has. Typically they take weeks to get acclimated, and now we're in week 5, so we should start to see the projection move up a little bit for him. So I actually don't mind people picking up Xavier Legette.
This game is a 42-point over-under. Chicago's favored by 4, so hopefully it gives us a little confidence in Caleb Williams. Are you willing to put him out there as a fringe QB1 this week?
No, because like I don't. Shane Waldron's is a really bad coordinator, man.
The
And I can't,
worst.
dude. He is so bad. Like JSN, that comment should have like rang a lot of alarms for a lot of people. Everyone was just probably like, "Oh, it's a rookie, just talking crap on offensive coordinator." But nope, he was right. This dude's bad. This dude's very, very bad. I mean, you're probably going to start in DeAndre Swift just because again buys. DJ Moore. I mean, he's really locking your lineup. It's you're really hoping for a touchdown pass from him. Romo Dunze, by the numbers, is all the metrics are saying he's really, really good.
He's up there with Ayuk. He's hanging out in
Yeah,
the same camp as Ayuk right now.
yeah. So it's really weird. Are you starting all 3 Bears like Keenan, Dunze, DJ Moore? Like, or which one are you leaning towards starting?
No, I'm playing DJ Moore. Keenan Allen is borderline droppable for me. And Odunze, I'm holding on just for the upside if I have the ability to hold on to him.
All right, and I think Cole Kmet's a good start still. I mean, like, at tight end, it's just a crapshoot. So
I'll play Mark Andrews over Cole Kmet.
I don't know if I could do that one, but eesh. I think I think the Bears win, but I think the Panthers cover the spread.
This defense is very good for the
Yeah,
Bears.
that's why the Bears' defense, I think, is what holds them alive. So
And the Panthers isn't a great but like Horn out there, it has looked. Man, Caleb Williams has been throwing some picks. Do we get the upset? No, I'll get Panthers cover. I'll agree with you. Panthers cover.
yeah,
They don't win it. All right, next one up. Of course, we've got the AFC North battle. It's the Ravens at the Bengals. Ravens, nice 2-0 recovery after their 0-2 start. Bengals not so good. They're 1-3, almost
they haven't
0-4.
looked bad though, and Joe Burrow looks like an MVP candidate. So he really can't. I mean, it's just a matter of just
He is 1-3. He is not an MVP candidate.
his
Sam,
numbers say otherwise.
yeah, not on my fantasy teams though.
Yeah. We'll start with the Ravens side because it's obviously a hot commodity. I mean, Lamar's in your lineup, Derrick Henry's in your lineup. Now let's start
Stop.
talking. Yeah,
That's it.
Zay Flowers.
If I can help it, I get it with the injuries and all of that, but I don't know. He's like a fringe wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 for me this week. Khalil Shakir or Zay Flowers.
I think I lean Khalil Shakir, man. Dude's just getting targets and reception, and the Ravens are a run team. They have 7 offensive linemen on the field at all times.
Actually, I got a better one for you.
Oh, great.
Flowers or Tyreek Hill
Oh, what the hell? That's gross.
against New England.
I'll go Tyreek Hill. That's gross. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zay has more points, but I can't do that. That's so gross.
Yeah, I'd take Zay over that. Or no, I take Tyreek. I think just
Yeah.
he's had he was pissed off this past Monday too.
Are you starting either Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews? Like, are you?
I'm off the likely train. Unless for some reason they all of a sudden switch it and start pounding the targets to the tight end position, I'm off likely altogether. But Mark Andrews, I'm still there at this point. I don't have better options.
Okay.
But I guess for you, would you rather go Gesicki or Mark Andrews here in this game?
I think Gesicki gets more targets, so I can go lean Gesicki.
Yeah, it's hard. Like that's the thing with Gesicki is his underlying metrics aren't great. Like, he's not out there a whole lot. He's not running a whole hell of a lot of routes, but the ones he's running, he's getting targets on, and
Yeah, exactly. That's all you
it's
need.
hard to argue with that.
Yeah. And then on the Bengals side, like, are you starting both Chase Brown and Zach Moss? Like, are you comfortable to start both?
I don't know if I would say comfortable, but between looking at this 50.5 point over under injuries and bye weeks, I'm considering putting them both out there. Chase Brown needs to be picked back up. I'm sure he hit waiver wires in some leagues. He needs to be picked back up. We're seeing this timeshare kind of come a little bit more to fruition. We're still holding out for Moss because Moss still looks great, and I think he can do more than Chase outside of the explosive plays.
Yeah.
Who you got winning?
Honestly, I think the Bengals win this game, man. I think it's at home in Cincy. That's where I lean towards.
Baltimore's favored by 2.5. I think they get it done. I think this team is too good not to. They've got one of the best coaches in the league. It's a great team, top to bottom.
Also, last question: you starting Yoshi Voss this week with all the buys or no?
I don't think so. Just with two running backs that are viable to like give you points, and then there's two other wide receivers on this team. It is the Ravens, so that defense could give you some headache. I don't know, where are you at on Yoshi Voss?
I think if you're like in a lot of buys, I don't hate it, but like you're really hoping for like the red zone targets. That's where he's been, really king at. So you're hoping for a touchdown pass.
Yoshi Voss or Leggett?
I lean Leggett.
Yoshi Voss or Tyreek?
I'll lean Tyreek. I can't play this silly game like that.
I can't play this game. Oh, another silly game we've got. It's some AFC favorites here. The Bills at the Texans. It's a 47.5 point over under. Buffalo is favored by 1 in this game. Break it down for me. Who are we looking at?
So we'll start with the Texans side. Joe Mixon hopefully is back this week. It sounds positive. If he's starting, he's definitely your lineup because the running backs have been awful. So
not seen it practice as of 2 hours ago.
Oh boy, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's all right. We'll be fine here. It's a Tuesday. But if he's playing, he's starting. Nico and Stephon Diggs is probably my favorite start of the week just because there's ego involved. And Stephon is going to want to score a touchdown against his old team. So I have all faith in the world of Stephon. Are you starting Tank Dell this week?
That's the question. I figured it was coming my way. If I have to, I do think he is an option. If you're going to do anything to this Bills team, though, like you run the ball on the Bills right now. Like that's where they're letting it up. And I don't like, if it's Pierce and or Akers, I don't like either one of them. So I do like Mixon this week. Oh, man. Tank Dell or Yoshi Voss?
I'd lean Tank Dell.
I think the talent's definitely there, but good Lord, he has not done it yet.
Nope.
Tank Dell or Khalil Shakir. Never mind, that one's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me. It's Khalil Shakir. But on the Bills side, James Cook, Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid's in your lineups. Those are 3 always must starts for that team. We'll start with the other guys. I think Khalil Shakir is now a must start. I think he's entering a territory where he's putting up solid numbers. At least you can put him in your flex or wide receiver 2. So I don't hate it. The only guy I'm questioning is Keon Coleman. Like, I don't know. Like, he's starting to get a little bit more work. It's not crazy. It's just I think he's worth stashing on your roster, and that's about where I'm at with him.
100% agree. I would love to have him there if I have the range for it. He's a big kid, 6'4". He's going to be a huge target down there in the red zone. Like you said, he's getting more involved, but he's just not doing it quite yet. We're only 5 weeks into this season, so if you have to let him go on the waiver wire, he'll probably still be there unless you miss out on that blow-up game. Who do you have winning this one?
I think the Texans win this one. I think it's in Texas. If it was in Buffalo, I'd seen Buffalo, but I think the advantage for being at home for this game will matter most, so that's where I'm at with it.
Nice 2-game skid for the Bills. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Despite them being talked about as one of the best all-around teams these last few weeks.
Like they're facing the tough part of their schedule, so it was bound to happen.
Yeah, They came out and they popped him in the mouth. That's for sure. Give me the Texans. I like that.
What's the spread on this one?
This one is 1 point. Buffalo.
Oh wow! Wait, Buffalo's favored in Texas?
Oh, 1 point. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. All right.
Texans have not looked overall impressive. I'll say that. They've had some good games. They've had some shining moments, but the Jags took them to the end of the game. Minnesota walloped on them. So I think it will be a good game, at least.
Okay.
Back and forth. Now that we're done talking about the good games, you want to talk about a bad one?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Is this the game that Peterson gets fired? Jags searching for that first win.
He gets his win. Folks, the Colts are 0-9 in the past 9 visits to Jacksonville. This is with Andrew Luck, and this is with all of the other counterparts of Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, everything in between. It's we're 0-9, so I don't know why we can't win in Jacksonville. It's the most annoying thing in the world, and yeah, it's frustrating. Anyways, Jacksonville side, ETN's in your lineup, Brian Thomas Jr. is in your lineup, Christian Kirk's in your lineup, and that's about where I sit with that team.
Yeah, Evan Ingram is day-to-day. He's doing individual drills. You said you're okay with playing Kirk?
Yeah, I'm okay with playing Kirk.
Playing him over Pittman?
Depending who's starting at quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. No, I'll take that back. If Anthony Richardson played, I'll still start Pittman. Pittman was getting targets with Richardson. They were looking really good, so I'd take that back. I'd still start Pittman.
What about we slide down to Josh Downs, him or Kirk?
I'll lean Kirk just a little bit more than Downs.
I think that's where I'm at too. Kirk is. I hope he doesn't burn us. It was 2 bad games. We kind of righted the ship a little bit. 10 targets and 12 targets over the last 2 games. Brought in 8 and 7 of them. 1 touchdown out of the 2 weeks. This is the Christian Kirk we thought we were going to get. A middling wide receiver 2, some spike weeks in there, but just like at least enough volume where he wasn't going to burn you like he did the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Josh Downs, though, I'm okay with either quarterback. I really don't think that Joe Flacco. He may raise one of the wide receivers a little bit, but I don't think it moves the needle that much more for me. I think that Anthony Richardson has a higher chance of keeping this offense rolling. As I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't sound great.
Yeah. On the Colts side, Anthony Richardson didn't practice today, but they already said he doesn't need to practice this week. If he is ready to go Sunday, he'll play. So that's not the injury report for him is more so if he's going to be good to go for Sunday. Jonathan Taylor didn't practice, but it's also Wednesday. It's a dude's day. He felt fine after the game, so tomorrow and Friday's practices will be the key. Still would start Trey Sermon. Shannon Steichen definitely likes having a workhorse back. He doesn't like doing the whole 50-50 thing. He definitely keeps it to one guy and one guy only, so it'll be Trey Sermon. And then out of the wide receivers, again, I don't mind Michael Pittman. Josh Downs, you probably spent some little bit of fab on him. And that's about it for this team.
Michael Pittman or Tyreek Hill?
Michael Pittman. I'm not doing this stupid thing.
I'm taking the Colts. I'm taking the Colts in this 46-point over/under. Jacksonville's favored by 3. No, I don't care who's the quarterback. Give me Indy. We're getting Peterson.
I have $350 on Jacksonville winning this game, so I'll let you guys know where I'm at.
Money line.
No, -1. So I teased it down because they're going to win. So 1 by 1, it's fine. If they don't, I just get my money back. But yeah, no, I have $350 on Jacksonville winning this game. So.
Oh man, it's all right. You took my DK money last week, so you got a little to spare on this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last game we're going to cover today because yes, we've only got 7 games this week. Well, per episode, folks. It's 14. 4 teams on bye. Math. But this game doesn't even count. It's like 3/4 of the game. It's the Dolphins at the Patriots. It's gross on gross on gross on gross. On gross on gross. The title thing wouldn't give me any more. Just the 3.
Yeah.
36.5-point over/under. New England's favored by 1.
Wow, shocker. I'd still go under on that.
I guess you see the report about Gibson possibly getting the starting role this week?
Yeah, really weird. put all my eggs in a basket of a dude who's just not notoriously known for fumbling either. I don't think people forget that. Like when his time with Washington, like he fumbled the ball all the time. So like that's crazy.
Yeah, he was the one that I feel like there was a good portion of the fantasy world that wanted to see Gibson take over for, the Commanders or whatever their name was at that time.
Washington football team.
Like yeah, this was the most bizarre thing. The guy that you just paid this offseason in Ramondre, I mean, not a huge contract, 3 years. They can probably get out of it after the summer or next, but you're already talking about benching him and like doing that to him this early for another fumbler.
Yeah, a little weird. On the New England side, we'll start there. I'm still starting Ramondre. I don't care. I mean, he's going to figure it out one way or another. I think it's just it's the yips at the moment. I mean, if he fumbles again, then that's more of a concern. I think he knows that the pressure's on him right now, so I think it's going to come back and he'll be fine. Wide receiver wise, I'm not starting Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk.
I'm owning Jalen Polk if I can. I will say, as far as the snap share and the route run, it shifted last week. Demario Douglas pulled back quite a bit from where he was at. Jalen Polk seems to be taking more of the alpha role, or it looks like they're making room for that. So I'm not going to clear my waiver or my roster for him, but I want to try and get this guy on my team.
Yeah, I don't hate holding one of them, and I think Jalen Polk obviously he has the higher pedigree for the draft capital. I don't mind starting Hunter Henry again, like tight end wasteland. It's literally nothing. He's shown games where he's flashed. I think Jacoby Brissett will lean on the veterans sometimes, so I don't hate it.
Austin Hooper was tight end 8 last week.
Yeah, see, exactly. And then you switch it out with Hunter Henry, it's the same thing. So on the Dolphins side, man, this sucks. You're starting Tyreek just because of waiver or because of buys, but if you can bench him. Jalen Waddle, I mean, again, one of those things where you probably have to start him because of bye weeks, but again, if you can bench him, please do. And then Devon Achane, you have really no choice because again, he's literally the lead back. I know Raheem Mostert might be back, maybe it might help this team, but man, this team is so bad without Tua. I still don't understand how a competent GM was like, yeah, Tua, who's known for concussions, let's have a very, very bad backup. Like even Chris Ballard got it right with getting Joe Flacco. He was like, yeah, hey, like it is like the incompetency is crazy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one 100%. That was probably one of the biggest destinations. I know last year that's why we kind of went into the season forgetting about the concussions because last year was so great,
Yeah, I know.
But after Mike White, they just let him go away, and Skylar Thompson, yeah, he'll do fine.
Yeah,
false.
So bad. I think the Patriots win this game.
I do too. I think they hold control. That's why I do think Stevenson's a decent start this week. Achane and Hill, I'm starting them just because I need a hope and a prayer. And if they're on your team, there's a good chance you're probably hurting, probably 2-2 or 1-3. So,
what's the over-under in this game?
They didn't have one actually. No, it's 36.5.
Dude, I thought for sure the over-under would be like 30. So I'm like really curious. I might hammer the hell out of that one. Jesus.
The funny thing is, it's moved up. It started at 35 and it's moved to 36 over the last 2 days. I know people are betting on the over.
Dude, like I get it, like big brain theory, but damn, that's one game I would stay away from.
Is there rumor mills on Tannehill? Is there like what's
no? Because Tua, all
here?
The signs are showing Tua's like perfectly fine. He's got all function. He's ready to go. They just wanted to be safe with him, so he'll be back after the Colts game, I believe. I think the Dolphins play the Colts week 7, and then he comes back that next week. So week 8 is where he's supposed to be back.
I hope so. My Tyreek teams are struggling. I need like 2 wins.
Every Dolphin owner is struggling with Devon Achane and Waddle. Man, it's so bad.
It's bad. It's bad. You ready to get out of here?
I am.
Let's shut it down. Folks, we will be back again tomorrow with part 2, the final 7 games of the week 5 slate. Brendan, before we get out of here, tell them where they can find you.
They can find me on Twitter at FFAMBMulk, and then I'm in the Fantasy Football Advice Network Facebook page answering all your redraft and dynasty questions there.
And I am at @too_much_Brian on Twitter. And then outside of that, you're just going to find me here. You're going to find me there. And then, of course, on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, I'm on there, constantly on there all the time. Should have seen the ridiculous stuff this guy put up yesterday. I had to put him in his place. It was just an onslaught of just, chitter chatter on the keyboard, putting them, setting it straight. You guys don't know what I'm talking about? Let me show you.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com.